Good morning, everyone. Well, technically it's not morning now because you're watching on Sunday evening, but it is morning here in Edinburgh and it is a really gorgeous, beautiful sunny morning, so I'm feeling very happy, on top of the world, and it's just so nice to be back here recording again. I know that I returned last week for my Downton Abbey episode, but that was recorded back in June. So this is my first time sitting in front of the camera again after my little YouTube break, and it's really great to be back. So I hope that you're happy to see me as well. I've got my morning tea. Now I know that I usually like to drink tea out of a little teacup, but actually in the mornings I do prefer a nice big cup of tea, and this was given to me by one of the viewers of this channel, so thank you so much. And I usually have this in the morning and it lasts me for an hour or so, so I get to sip through it in the morning and get me through the day to start the day off on the right footing. So I've got my tea. So I just thought that after being away for a few weeks and traveling, it would be nice to return back to the house and just sit down together and have a little bit of a catch up and a chat so that we can get back on track and talk about what I've been getting up to over the last few weeks. So as I've mentioned, I was on holiday in Italy first. I spent 6 days in Italy, in Tuscany with some friends, and then I flew from there to Mallorca to celebrate my sister's wedding, so I was there for 5 days. So it was the most wonderful time in both places. I've been dreaming about traveling to Europe again for the last year or so. I did go to Portugal in April, which was amazing, but I hadn't been to Italy for about 4 years, and it is my favourite place in the world, so to be able to go back was truly wonderful. And then to go to Mallorca for my sister's wedding, spend time with the family. It's been years and years since I've been on holiday with my family all together. So it was amazing to be with them and just to relax together, have fun, spend time with them. I'm restored, happy, and it was just really wonderful. So I am going to tell you about my holidays, but before I do, I'm not sure whether you remember, but a few episodes ago, I told you about this book, We Were Liars, and I said that I was going to give it away to one of you guys. So I have decided on a winner, so make sure that you're logged into your YouTube account, because I've responded to the comment that you left on the video. And so check that out, and then we'll arrange about how we can send this to you. So I thought, because there were so many responses to that, that we should continue this book club idea. And whilst I was on holiday, I was reading this one. It's called A Ladder to the Sky by John Boyne. And I just thought that we would continue the book club, and I'll give this one away as well. So if you want to have this exact copy of the book, please leave me a comment again, and I will send that on to you. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to write inside one of the first pages, Nicholas Fairford, and I read the book in August 2022. And I think it would be nice that once you've read the book, if you do the same thing and then pass it on to somebody else, so that we can all enjoy these amazing stories. Now, if you do receive this one, I have to apologise in advance because I was reading this at the beach and by the pool, so it is a bit crispy. The pages are a bit wavy from a bit of water damage, but it's still readable, and I think that makes it a little bit more authentic and real. So yeah, be prepared for a Italian kissed book. Yes, I have to tell you that even if you don't receive this book from me, you should definitely go out and pick up a copy, because it is one of those books that you are 1 minute laughing hysterically and then the next minute like shocked. It is gripping from start to finish. It's a very interesting story. There's a good twist at the end. Highly recommend getting that. I really, really enjoyed it. So that is that. And then I've just started to read this one, which is called Swimming in the Dark. And this is it's a gay novel. It's kind of like a Call Me By Your Name type book. And it's set in Poland in 1980. Can't really say much about this because I've literally read three or four pages. I started reading it last night and then I got really sleepy, so I just went to sleep. But I'm going to continue with this a bit later on, and I'll let you know how that one is. But I think I will probably enjoy this one. It's a debut novel from Thomas Jadrowski. I probably said that wrong. and the reviews are pretty cool, so I think I'm going to enjoy this one as well. So let me tell you a bit about my little vacation then. So before I went away to Italy, I did get the train down to Birmingham because Sophie was staying with my mum's sister, my aunt. She really loves staying with my aunt. It's a very quiet house. It's just her and my uncle living there. They've got no kids. It's very peaceful. They adore Sophie, so I knew that it was the best place for her to go. And I think she really had a nice, relaxing time spending her little vacation with them. So I took the train down on the Thursday, and then I spent the night at my parents'. We had dinner with my sister and some other family, which was really nice just before the holiday to have a little bit of a dinner and a bit of time together. And we were all so excited about the upcoming wedding, so it was a jubilant mood and a really great start to my holiday. So I stayed there Thursday and Friday, and then on Saturday morning I flew from Birmingham Airport to Florence. I arrived in Florence at about 11 o'clock in the morning. Vanessa, my business partner, picked me up and we drove to her house in Italy. So Vanessa's partner is called Lorenzo, and he is half Italian, and his Italian side of the family still live in this village called Castelvecchio, which is in Tuscany, and we were staying in his house there, which was pretty special. Very simple, rustic, beautiful Italian village. But the thing that I like the most is that it's one of those places that you will never discover unless you know somebody who's living there. There are no tourists, all local people living there, so it was a very authentic Italian experience, and I just had the most magical few days with them, eating wonderful food, relaxing in the sun, enjoying Tuscany. It was just heavenly. So as soon as I got to the village, we headed up to one of the restaurants. Now, these restaurants, there are like 3 in the village, and they're all so simple, kind of like going back to the 1980s. It had that very call me by your name feel to it. But the most amazing thing is that you get like 4 courses, 2 bottles of wine, and it's like less than €100 for 3 people, which is pretty insane. I think about the restaurants here in Edinburgh, and even though you can get some amazing food here, you have to be prepared to spend a lot of money because they're all very expensive. Whereas these ones, the food was some of the best I've ever had in my life. The wine, incredible, and so inexpensive, which is pretty cool. Whilst we were there, it was Vanessa's birthday, so we had a lunch in another one of the restaurants in the village, and Lorenzo invited all of his Italian family there, so there were about 40 people on a long table outside. This lunch lasted for about 5 hours, which is my dream lunch. Don't you just love those long lunches where you spend hours and hours chatting, eating, drinking, and just having the best time? So that was one of my favourite parts of the holiday because it just felt so authentic, and it was like being part of an Italian family. So you can't really get an experience like that unless you know people. So that was one of the most fun times. And another fun time that we had was going to a town called Lucca, which is a very ancient town, and it's enclosed in a wall. Most of the city is enclosed in a wall, so it's pretty special. And we hired a few bicycles, and we spent like an hour driving around the city walls. It was pretty special, and the nice thing is that there was hardly any traffic because it's quite an enclosed town. No cars, so you don't have to wear a helmet. You're very free and it's very safe. So that was really beautiful. And then we had a dinner in the evening in the town, outside in this restaurant which was so pretty. It had lights, fairy lights in the trees, perfect atmosphere. And then there was a little violin concert just literally across the street. So beautiful music. It was pretty special. So yeah, after my Italian adventure, it was off to Mallorca for my sister's wedding. I arrived there on Thursday evening, and I met everybody for dinner. People were quite tired because they travelled in that day, so we had dinner, a few drinks, but pretty much an early night. So that was good. And then the next day, which was the first real day of being there, we went to this incredible beach club, which you saw at the beginning of the video. The views from there were stunning. One of the best things about the beach club is that it's set in cliffs and you can dive off into the sea, which was just so refreshing and cooling after sunbathing. It was very, very hot, so it was very much needed to keep diving in and having a bit of a cool off. But yeah, another beautiful day, and then the next day after that was the actual wedding, which was just perfect. One of the things I think about weddings is that they can be really exhausting and long. So I've been to weddings where, you know, they last the whole day, and by the end of it you're really tired and sometimes even a little bit bored, if I'm honest. The great thing about my sister's wedding was that it didn't start till the afternoon. We had the wedding in the church, and then my sister was very specific about quickly taking photographs in 10 minutes. Then we went onto a boat where we had the reception, and again it was everybody onto the boat, get changed, party starts, food came out, which was like barbecue food, delicious, super simple, easy but amazing, and then we just had an incredible party. So no long speeches, no long drawn out photograph sessions, just party on the boat, get going. My idea of a perfect wedding. So yeah, basically those 2 vacations were pretty special, had the best time. Lovely to spend time with family and friends, lovely to be in the sunshine, get out of Edinburgh, do something a bit different, something new, but it is nice to be back. So I didn't just spend the entire 4 weeks having an amazing holiday and not really doing anything. I used the time to focus on something that I've wanted to change for a while, which is my website, nicholasfairford.com. It's still in the process of being renovated, the website, but it's coming along. If you go on there now, you'll see that it's very much focused on product and on the shop, whereas before it used to be more about the blog and having lovely content on there for you to enjoy. And I really want to go back to that format, so you'll still be able to shop the Nicholas Fairford product, but I also want to be able to put out regular blog content. So I really want to go back to that format a little bit more, of having more of a blog with editorial content on there for you to enjoy. So that is what we're working on now. We've also gone through a major rebranding. So I've worked with a very talented lady in Amsterdam who has revamped all of our graphics, our logo, everything. It's all changed, and I'm going to be launching that in the next few weeks to share with you all. So it's been very busy and exciting. So not just a time of indulgence and holidaying, I also did work hard as well. So in the spirit of my Italian holiday, I thought it might be nice to make an Italian dish. So I'm going to make Aubergine Parmigiana. I hope I said that properly. I always struggle with these international words, but yeah, I'm going to make that. And this is a very simple dish. I have made this before. So obviously we have aubergine as the main ingredient, which we're going to grill. And then we just make a tomato-based sauce with onion, garlic, and I'm going to use a jar of passata because I want life to be easy. I'm all about easy cooking, you know me, so I'm going to do that, and then you bake it all together in a dish, and then you sprinkle on lots of parmesan. So it's very delicious, quite healthy, very Italian, Mediterranean, but simple. So let's do it. So to this pan, I've got some olive oil, and I'm just going to add in the onion. I'm going to add in about a teaspoon of oregano. And then I'm also going to add in a clove of garlic, which I'm going to mince. So I'm just going to let this cook for about 10 minutes until the onion has softened and has a little bit of colour to it. And I'm just using this M&S rosemary and lemon olive oil, which always gives a nice taste and flavour to the dish. And why not add in a little bit of sea salt? So our onions have been frying in there for about 10 minutes. They've got a little bit of colour, they've softened and sweetened. So I'm adding in the passata sauce. And then I'm just going to stir this through. And I'm going to let this simmer for about 15 minutes. So as you can see, sauce has thickened quite considerably. So now I'm just going to season with a little bit of salt. You can also add a black pepper if you wish. I'm not going to do that. And then I'm just going to pick in some basil. And this is a really wonderful sauce that was so easy to make just from a jar, but still tastes delicious. As I said before, I want an easy life. It's all about simple pleasures. So our aubergine has grilled. We're going to layer this into a baking dish and we're going to bake it in the oven. So I've added the sauce to a casserole dish and I'm just grating over some parmesan, and then I'm going to take our grilled aubergine and place it on top before adding on some more cheese and then baking in the oven. So yeah, that's pretty much us caught up. So nice to be able to share everything that I've been doing with you. So nice to be back sitting in front of the camera. I just love coming here to chat, so I'm very pleased to be here again. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope that you've enjoyed this episode. I look forward to seeing you next week. I'm going to be traveling to London on Tuesday till Friday. I've got something special happening then, which I'm going to be filming, and so you'll get to watch that with me on Sunday. So I look forward to seeing you then. Have a really great week. Take care.